Hello class, today we're going to review how to use a protractor. So the first thing you want to take notice and what most people get confused about is the two sets of numbers. We go from 0 to 180 from left to right going this direction. And then from here on this farther inside set of numbers, we go from 0 to 180 going right to left. So the first thing you need to make sure is that when you're measuring an angle, that you want these crosshairs right here to match up with your vertex. And if you don't remember, the vertex is where these two lines meet. So right here, I'm going to line up my crosshairs with my vertex. And luckily for me, this is going to line up perfectly with this black line right here. And now I can measure my angle. So right here, this is where I'm going to go from 0 and continue going upward. Because we're starting at the bottom from here, and we're measuring going this direction. We're rotating counterclockwise. So I'm going to see right here that this angle measure is equal to 41 degrees. Right here you see it's a little bit over 40. Right here, this 40 mark. I'm sorry, this one right here. So it's a little bit over 41 degrees. Now, when we're measuring this direction, again, I want my crosshairs to match up with my vertex. This black line right here should overlap this one. There we go. And as I'm measuring this purple angle right over here, I'm going to be counting from 0 and upward from this direction. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Right here I see it's a little bit over 65. So I'm going to say that this is 66 degrees right here. Now unfortunately our angles won't always be so nice. We won't always have this horizontal line to match up with our bottom right here. So when you're faced with an angle that's a little bit goofy, that doesn't start out perfect, remember you can always rotate your protractor or your page in order to help you figure out the angle measure. So again, our crosshairs right here matches up with this vertex. And I want to make sure, now right here it looks like they're almost even, but we have this little sliver right here. We want to make sure they're perfectly overlapping one another. Might have over-rotated right there. Okay, right there. And now that I'm measuring, remember I'm starting from 0 and moving on this direction. This right here looks to be about 124 degrees. And if we measured the opposite direction, we'd also get the same thing. So if I turn it this direction, I've measured it clockwise. So we start at 0, now we're starting on the outside, we rotate all the way this way, and again we're at 124 degrees. 124. Now, there are times where you're going to have an angle measure that's over 180 degrees. And there's a little trick that you can use to help you solve this. So we're trying to measure this outside angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it, because you'll be able to rotate your page as well. I'm going to rotate this, and I'm looking for this large outside angle. Now, the problem is my protractor only goes up to 180. So this really isn't going to help me out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a series of dots that follow in line with this. So I'm going to go right here, right on the outside, right where 0 is. And I know from here to here, where these dots are, that's 180 degrees. I know that for a fact. It's a straight angle. It gives me 180 degrees. Now what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to rotate my angle just like you would rotate your page. And I'm going to measure from these dots that I created as best as I can to where the angle actually ends. So right here, I'm going to match my crosshairs with my vertex right here. And that's just about even. It's just in line with the dots that I've created. And I'm counting from 0 on to here, so I'm using this inside set of numbers. And I see that it goes to about 43 degrees. So I'm going to add 43 to 180. And when I do that, I should get 223 degrees.